Hello and welcome to SAS video tutorial. Today we will be talking about accessing data. In this, first we will be examining SAS datasets. So our objectives would be to define the components of SAS dataset. We will browse the descriptive portion of the SAS dataset using the contents procedure. We will browse the portion of a SAS dataset using the print procedure. We will define the SAS variable, a missing value, and a SAS date value. The scenario that we have here is that many SAS datasets related to the Orion Star project already exist. The programmers need to know how to display the structure and contents of that dataset. What is a dataset? A SAS dataset is a specially structured data file that SAS creates and that only SAS can read. A SAS dataset is a table that contains observations and variables. SAS dataset terminology. So SAS terminology and database terminologies. So SAS dataset refers to a table, observation refers to a row, and variable refers to an column. SAS dataset terminologies that we have just seen, that a SAS dataset contains a descriptive portion and a data portion. Descriptive portion, it contains the following metadata: general properties such as the dataset name and the number of observation. Then variable properties such as name, type, and length of the variable. So here we see the general property and variable property. So how we can browse through the descriptive portion? We use proc contents to display the descriptive portion of a SAS dataset. Following is the syntax: proc contents data equals to SAS dataset, and then we just write a run statement. So according to the example that is here, that is proc contents data equals to work.newsales emps, and then run. After we run this program, we see an output like this, where we have dataset name, observation number, variable number, date it was created, and when was it modified. After that, we have engine or host dependent informations, which is not necessary at this point of time. And then we have alphabetic list of variable and attributes. So let's go ahead and submit this program, and we will check what is the difference between the two contents procs that we have used with varnum and without varnum. So when we use without varnum, this is the result. Variable property is in alphabetical order. But when we have used the option varnum in the program, the order of the variable is as it appears in the dataset. So this was our program where we have used the option varnum, and that's what's the difference it is. Rest of the information remains the same for proc contents procedure. So in proc content, we have dataset name, observation numbers, variable numbers, date it was created, last modified date. Rest of the things might not be important as if now. Later on with your advanced courses, you will have more knowledge about it. Data portion. The data portion of SAS dataset contains the data values which are either character or numeric. Partial work.newsales emps view table is given here, where at the top the heading of all the columns are the variable names, and the values in the columns for a particular observation is data values. Salary is a numeric value, and all the other three variables that we have, that is first name, last name, job title, are the character values. How to browse through data portion? So we use proc print to display the data portion of a SAS dataset. The syntax goes like this: proc print data equal to the dataset that we want to display as report, and then run statement. So according to the current example, it is proc print data equals to work.newsales emps and the run. So when we submit that program, this is the output that we get, and this is just the partial output out of 71 observation. Now let's go ahead and see how the proc print works. Proc print will display all the data of a particular data set if we do not use any other options or any other statement except the proc print statement and run statement. It also contains the variable names that we have discussed in varnum in the same order. Let's go ahead and submit this program. So when we submit this program, so this is the result what we get. So this is actually how our data set has the data. It's just the report or the proc print of our data set. So if you want to see what is there in our data set, we will explore, go to libraries. This is the file which is created in work or the temporary library. We'll open this data set. So actual content of the data set and the series and the arrangement is exactly the same in the proc print. So we will close this data set, and this is what the output is. And if we check log, it will give you there was 71 observations read from the dataset work.newsales EMPS. SAS variable names. SAS variable names can be up to 1 to 32 characters long. Must start with a letter or underscore. Subsequent characters can be letter, underscore, or numerals. It can be upper, lower, or mixed case, and these are not case sensitive. Like salary underscore score 2, customer underscore ID, month 1, first name where F and F are in caps. These are the examples. Then data types. A SAS dataset supports two types of variables, character variable and numeric variable. Character variable can contain any value, letter, numerals, special characters, and blanks, which ranges from 1 to 32,767 characters in length, and it has 1 byte per character. Where numeric variables stores numeric values using floating point or binary representation. By default, the storage size is 8 bytes and it can store up to 16 to 17 significant digits in these 8 bytes. Missing data values. Missing values are valid values in SAS dataset. So we have a partial view of the table that we have produced, that is work.newsales EMPS, where we see Petria's job title is missing and Monica's salary is missing. So a blank represents a missing character value in job title, where a period represents a missing value where the variable type or the data type is numeric. A value must exist for every variable in every observation. SAS date value. SAS stores calendar dates as numeric values. So a SAS date value is stored as the number of days between January 1st, 1960 and a specific date. So here, according to the diagram that is there, so 1st January 1960 has been assigned the value of 0. So anything that goes before that, the date value goes in negative, and anything thereafter is a positive value. So according to the current example, so 1st Jan 1961 becomes 366 as a number, and 1st Jan 1959 becomes minus 365. Accessing data. We move on to the second section, that is accessing SAS libraries. We will explain the concept of a SAS library. We will state the difference between a temporary library and a permanent library. We will assign a library reference name to a SAS library using a libname statement. Investigate a SAS library programmatically and interactively. We will access a SAS dataset. So we will access a SAS dataset in a user-created permanent library. ONA star programmers need to access existing SAS datasets, so they need to understand how the datasets are stored in SAS. SAS libraries. SAS datasets are stored in SAS libraries. A SAS library is a collection of SAS files that are referenced and stored as a unit. Each file is a member of the library. We can think of a SAS library as a drawer in a filing cabinet and a SAS dataset as one of the files in the drawer. So here in the example or in the diagram, we see that the cabinets are the libraries and the files that are there in the cabinets are the datasets. How SAS libraries are defined. When a SAS session starts, SAS automatically creates one temporary and at least one permanent SAS library that we can access. These libraries are open and ready to be used. So the one temporary library is work and one permanent library is SAS help. Assigning a library reference. Regardless of the operating system that we use, we refer to a SAS library by a logical name called a library reference name or libref. A libref is a shortcut to the library. Temporary library. Work is a temporary library where we can store and access SAS datasets for the duration of the SAS session. It is the default library. SAS deletes the work library and its content when the session terminates. Permanent libraries. SAS is a permanent SAS help is a permanent library that contains sample SAS datasets which we can access during SAS sessions. SAS user is again one more permanent library that we can use to store and access SAS dataset in any SAS session. SAS dataset in permanent libraries are saved after our SAS session terminates. Accessing SAS datasets. All SAS datasets have a two-level name that consists of a libref and the dataset name separated by a period. So according to the current example that we see, libref is work and new sales EMPS is a dataset name. And here work is a temporary library. And the second example, sashelp.class, where sashelp libref is permanent library and class is one of the dataset within this library. Syntax is libref.datasetName. When a dataset is in the temporary work library, we can use a one-level name, for example, new sales EMPS. So if we do not write work then a period, new sales EMPS, and we simply write new sales EMPS, it means the same. OrientStar programmer needs to access and view SAS datasets that are stored in a permanent user-defined library. So here, according to the diagram, we are going to create a library named Orion. Users can create their own SAS library. User-defined libraries. User can create their own SAS libraries. A user-defined library is permanent dataset that are stored until the user deletes them, is implemented within the operating environment's file system, is not automatically available in SAS sessions. So user-defined libraries, according to the operating systems, if it is Microsoft Windows, it is saved in a folder. The example path is given there. Then Unix, a directory reference is given. In ZOS systems, a sequential file is given and the example is given respectively. The user must assign a libref to the user-defined library to make it available in a SAS session. Accessing a permanent library. Step 1. We identify the location of the SAS library. In this example, SAS Workshop, a Microsoft Windows folder is used as the SAS library. We will identify the location of our course data, which is SAS S Workshop /prg1. Step 2. We will use SAS libname statement to associate the libref with the physical location of the library. Associate the libref Orion with the Windows folder so that it is available to your SAS session. Libname statement that we have is a SAS libname statement is a global SAS statement. It is not required to be in a data step or a proc step. It does not require a run statement. It executes immediately. It remains in effect until changed or cancelled or until the SAS session ends. We use the location of our course data in our libname statement. And this is the partial view of the SAS log. And this is the partial view of the SAS log. Libname Orion and then the path. A note is given. Libref Orion was successfully assigned as follows. Engine and the physical name was given. Then how can we browse through it? That is step 3. We can browse a library interactively in a SAS or SAS Enterprise Guide session or programmatically using the contents procedure. Browsing a library programmatically. We use proc content with the _all_ keyword to generate a list of all SAS files in a library. Proc contents data equals to orient._all_ no_ds run. So that is a program. Syntax is proc contents data equals to library reference with a period, then _all_ space no ds and then run statement. _all_ request all files in the library. The no ds option suppresses the individual data sets description information. No ds can be used only with the keyword _all_. And the partial view is similar to this. Accessing a permanent dataset. Step 4. After the libref is assigned, we can access SAS files in the library. So we do a proc print data equals to orient.country. So then we have the partial output, and when we view the log, we see there were 7 observations read from the dataset. The libref Orion remains in effect until we change or cancel it or until we end our SAS session. Changing or cancelling a libref. To change a libref, submit a libname statement with the same libref but a different path. Libname Orion c:/myfiles. To cancel a libref, submit a libname statement with the clear option, libname Orion and clear. According to the current proc print statement or the data step that we see, we're going to print the country dataset from the Orion libref. Let's see what our location program 1 has. So in our location we have country dataset, right? So country is something that's what we are going to get the output, but when I go ahead and run this program, it does not produce any result. In the log it says Orion is not assigned, the libname Orion is not assigned. So let's go ahead and assign this library and let's see the difference what we have once we assign the library. So this actually Orion would be referring to this physical path that we have referred here. So when I have run this program, it says the Orion has been assigned. So let's go ahead and run this program once again and check if now it runs. Yes, it runs and it gives you the detail of the 7 countries as a proc print result. And we will go back to our program where we will see the contents of the library that we have just assigned without the descriptive portion of the respective datasets. Let's go ahead and run this program, and this is what we get. So these are the name of our datasets and indexes that are present in that library, and all the details are printed as a report within the SAS environment, not onto the physical location. And if you want to see the descriptive part of all the data sets along with the contents of the library, then we just remove the Node.js option and then resubmit the program, and we can see that it will produce the details for every data set that we have. Like here the dataset name is Orion.suppliers, and above that we will again have another dataset Orion.staff, Orion.shoe_tracker. So these things will get displayed. Let's go ahead and we have already seen this, so we will go ahead and clear the libname. So this is the option, either we can close the session or we can use this clear libname statement. So let's go ahead and press F3 and execute the program. Okay, let me select and then we'll do press F3 and program is submitted. Let's go ahead and check. This has been deassigned. Libname Orion is not assigned. So this is the way. There is another way to assign a library. So we will just copy the name of the library so we don't have to type it again. So I have copied it from here, and I go to the programming interface, and there's this icon on the top, just one icon before the submit icon or the button, which has a cabinet icon with a blue sun. So we click there, we type the name Orion, that's the name of our library. We keep everything there. You can check enable at start and browse to the library where you actually want to assign. So library is already there, and then we click OK, and then also let's go ahead and do the proc print of this dataset and let's see if it got assigned. Definitely it got assigned, hence we have the print for the particular dataset.